And the rise in children's cases comes as kids head back to school and back to classrooms with varying degrees of protection depending on the state. Overnight, a federal judge denied a request to temporarily block Tennessee Governor Bill Lee's rule that lets parents opt out of school mask mandates for their children. Last month, we told you about a fiery school board meeting in Tennessee where a father who advocated for masks was threatened by angry mask opponents while he tried to drive away. Look at this. The father's name is Michael Miller, and his son just tested positive for COVID. And Michael joins us now. His boys attend Williamson County schools. Thank you so much for being with us this morning, Michael. I know your sixth grader has now tested positive. Let me just start by asking how he's doing.
Good morning. Thank you for asking. We are very fortunate. His case is very minor. His symptoms are rather mild, so he's doing okay. He's acting like himself. It was started as a mild fever, became at this point just some congestion and a cough.
Well, that's good news, but I do understand he's got a classmate who's not doing as well.
Yes, it varies. The symptoms vary child to child, and one of his classmates actually just got out of the hospital from being in the hospital for 5 days with COVID pneumonia. That's
troubling. And look, as we're seeing the number of cases rise, we are seeing the number of hospitalizations rise among kids, which certainly is something to be concerned about. And a number of kids in your son's school have been infected?
That's correct. So the sixth grade is kids are between 11 and 12 years old. So a lot of them cannot be vaccinated. In the last 2 weeks in the school, over 20% of them have been infected as new cases.
All right. And the mask rules as they stand are the school wants you to wear masks, but they can't require it. You can opt out, correct?
That's correct. So there's 3 different opt-outs, but really the overriding opt-out at this point is Executive Order 84, which is the governor's order, which dictates that any school that has a mask mandate has to give an opt-out for what the superintendent aptly terms as the I don't wanna clause. So I don't wanna wear a mask, so you don't have to.
And how many kids about are masked and unmasked at your son's school?
So at the middle school level, it's about 30%. There are high schools that are up as high as 50% unmasked. Now, some of them are going to be vaccinated children. And then even at the elementary schools, we're seeing between 13 and 30%.
How did your son feel about going to school wearing masks? Is there a stigma to be masked or unmasked?
In his eyes, no. So my children were both home. We had them in online school last year. And so for him, he's just excited to be back in the building and thrilled to be back with his friends. So he has absolutely no problem with it. Now, that stated, there are lots of children that parents have told us where they encourage masks in their home. They send the child to school with a mask and the child's not wearing the mask because some of their friends are not. So it's peer pressure. It's not that be very clear that no one's teasing anybody. That's not happening, but at least not in our schools, that's not happening. That's happening elsewhere. But the kids are not donning the mask because they don't even want to face the risk of being teased.
So, we've seen that video of you being threatened. Yeah. It's really scary stuff from a month ago. When you look at this now or think back to that moment, how does seeing or knowing about this moment make you feel now that your son got COVID?
I hate to say vindicated, but at some level it is that. I still, so when I see this is so inappropriate and so beyond the scope of what reality has become it's reality of what's become at school board meetings, unfortunately, that you've got these mobs showing up on one side, the loud minority, as I like to refer to them, because the silent majority wants masks. They're just not showing up. And we actually need more of those people showing up at these school board meetings and sharing their piece and writing the school board members and, next year running for school board. We need more people who are willing to step forth and advocate for common sense. I mean, what you saw there that night was a well-organized machine that you're seeing across the country.
I guess what I'm asking is now, is that exactly what you're worried about? Is what happened exactly what you were worried about?
Oh, yeah. 110%. I apologize. Yeah, absolutely. That's every parent's greatest fear. We kept our kids home last year to keep them safe from COVID, and we send them back into school. And within a month here we go. This is everything we try to avoid.
Well, listen, I hope his recovery continues. I know you've got another son who's got to quarantine at home because he's got a brother who's got it. Hopefully they'll both be back in school, and hopefully they and their friends will be as safe as they can be. Michael, we really appreciate you being with us.
Thank you.